Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to the session for IAT ISER Aptitude Test 2025. Mock questions, most expected must-do questions, which you should do before your IAT 2025 examination. Okay, so let's begin with the physics session. You already had, I think, a chemistry session yesterday, and a math session will also follow. So this is obviously a very important examination for you to secure your seat in the top premier institutes. Remember, last year the competition was around close to 80,000 to 1 lakh students. I think I had to correct my data. And this year the competition is expected to be anywhere between 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh. Okay, although you might get some ISER at around 120, 140 score, but to secure a top ISER with the new competition, considering JEE changed the pattern and preparedness is much better this year. So for a good ISER seat, you will probably have to think something around 180 score. Okay, that is for a good ISER seat. But some ISER you want, then obviously 120, 130 marks will also be good enough. Is that right? Okay, so let's begin with the class, my dear students. Hi, Nikhil, Ganvi. Hi, Mritika, Meow, Harshita, Sai. Welcome, Kadari. Welcome. Morning, my dear students. So I'm guessing most of you are also writing the JEE Advanced examination. If so, please let me know in the chat box. Tomorrow there is a final mock test for JEE Advanced. Okay, so be there. The last final mock test for JEE Advanced. Okay, so let's continue with our JEE. IAT 2025 preparation. Smash the like button if you have not yet done that. It's very important because it shows you're interested for IAT. When I see your comments, your likes, and you're watching it, and then we do the analysis. Okay, yes, students love IIT's classes, or you want those classes, we will conduct more such things. So it's highly important that you show your love, support for these sessions by liking, commenting, watching these sessions till the end. Okay, so let's begin. Hi Ganesh, hi Pratiksha, welcome Harshita. Let's begin. First question on your screen. The questions will be slightly of good level because it's a good examination. Okay, so most likely above JEE mains or with par with JEE mains most of the times. The principal section of a glass prism is an isosceles triangle with AB is equal to AC. So there is an isosceles prism, not equilateral. AC is silvered, ray of light is incident normally on the face AB, and after two reflections, it goes perpendicular to the base. The angle BAC of the prism is how much? Okay, so let's try to think, my dear students, how to solve this question. First of all, let me draw an isosceles prism. This would be an isosceles prism, somewhat like this. Okay, and the ray is entering the prism normally from this face. So if I may mark the faces, this is, I think, AC. Okay, angle BAC. Okay, so this is A, this is B, and this is C. This is also the angle of the prism. This is also the angle A of the prism. Now the ray of light is entering normally. It enters, goes inside as it is. Okay, so it is entering like this normally. It goes inside. It gets reflected and again reflected over here as well, the second reflection, and it emerges perpendicular to the base BC. That is what has been mentioned. Okay, so this is also going to be perpendicular. It is mentioned clearly in the question. So let me also draw some normals over here that will be necessary for the problems. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, a normal over here maybe. Yeah. Why it is acting so weird? Okay, just normal and normal. Okay, fair enough. Now we know that in a normal prism, if this is 90°, if you look at this particular triangle, if you want, I will mark that triangle also. This is A point, this is P point, this is Q point, this is, let's say, R point. So if you look at the triangle APQ, if you look at the triangle APQ, then you will realize quickly that this is A angle, this is 90°. This particular angle over here, this particular angle over here, which is there, that should be how much? 90 minus A. That should be the complementary of A. So this will be nothing but 90 minus A. So I can quickly say that angle AQP is nothing but 90 minus A because it is a right angle triangle. So these two angles should be complementary. So if this is 90 minus A, how much will this particular angle be over here? How much will this particular angle be over here? This will be obviously then A only, because if this is 90 minus A, this is 90 degree normal drawn. So this is A. So that particular A is also the angle of incidence. So it is that light is getting reflected. So if this is A, obviously even this particular angle should be A. So this whole angle, therefore, in that triangle PQR, can I say that whole angle PQR will be nothing but 2 times of A, 2 times of A plus A, which is 2A. Do you understand why it is A and A? Because laws of reflection, incident angle will be reflected angle. Everyone fine till this point? Okay. Next important thing. In this triangle PQR, if this is 2A, how much will this angle be? Can you guess how much will this particular angle be? Yes, what is that angle? PRQ. So angle PRQ will be nothing but 90 minus 2A. It will be nothing but 90 minus 2A. Therefore, can you now guess how much will this particular angle be? Can you guess how much will this particular angle be? Because that will be the angle of incidence and that will also be the angle of reflection over here. So guys, think carefully. How much would this whole angle be equal to? How much will this whole angle be equal to? So if angle PRQ is 90 minus 2A, this angle will obviously be nothing but 2A. And if that is 2A, that is angle of incidence. So angle of reflection over here should also be 2A. That is also done. Then if you look at triangle RB, maybe I can call it S. If you look at triangle RBS, this is 90. This and this angle, maybe I can call it some theta or whatever you want to call it. Let's say I call it as theta. This is also theta. Base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal. This is theta. This is 90. So obviously this will be nothing but 90 minus theta. So the angle BRS will be nothing but 90 minus theta. And now we know this angle and this 2A angle together will be 90 degree. Correct? So this 2A and this angle together will be 90 degree. So I can say that 90 minus theta, which is basically your angle which is your angle BRS, yes, angle BRS plus this 2A angle over here, plus this 2A angle over here, which is nothing but the incident or basically the reflected angle over here. This together should be nothing but 90 degree. This together should be nothing but 90 degree over here. So 90 cancels. So therefore, I will get theta is equal to 2A from here. Theta is equal to 2A from here. Once this is done, take the whole triangle ABC, take the complete triangle ABC. In that whole complete triangle ABC, this angle plus this angle plus this angle will be 180. So A plus theta will be 180 degrees. So therefore A plus theta is nothing but 2A plus 2A is 180 degrees. So therefore 5 times A is 180 degrees. Therefore A will be 180 by 5, which is 36 degrees. So 36 degrees is B option. That's absolutely correct. Got it? Beautiful question, guys. Loved it. Everyone? Okay. So completely geometrical based. Complete geometrical based question. Beautiful question. If you have that research mind, obviously you will start thinking in terms of those analytical, mathematical, geometrical aspects, and you will end with the solution. No, it is definitely not boring. This is, I think, one of the most best questions you can talk about in prisms. Very good question, and it is not even advanced question, or even if it comes in advance, it will be in single correct. Okay, even it may come in advance, who knows. A physical quantity x depends on the quantities y and z as follows. So where a, b, c are constants, which of the following do not have the same dimensions? Do not have the same dimensions. Please read it carefully. Do not have same dimensions. They do not have the same dimensions. If you look over here, the dimension of x, the dimension of x will be the dimension of a and dimension of y multiplied. Also, it will be the same as a dimension of b, and whatever is there inside tan will be dimensionless. So c multiplied by z will be completely dimensionless. So this is what it is. So x and b have the same dimensions, yes. C and z inverse, correct. Z goes on the other side. Z inverse have the same dimension, perfect. Y and b by a, y and b by a, take a below, so b by a is y, perfectly correct. Only x and a, yes, they will not be same dimensions. X will have the same dimension as a multiplied by y. Y is missing over here, so D is the right answer, which does not have the same dimensions. Is that right, everyone? Yeah. Okay. Remember, there will be some questions which will be difficult, lengthy. There will be some questions where you will save time. Like for example, this question, you will save time. There will be some lengthy question, and that has to be taken for granted. You guys come with the mindset that all questions will take the same time, and the moment a difficult question comes, you leave it. Moment a difficult question comes, you leave it. And that habit formation is what leads you to scoring not so great marks in your competitive examinations. Guys, remember, there will be always different varieties of questions. Some will take more time, some will take less time. If you solve the question which actually should take less time in less time, then you are going in the right track, because that's how you will save time for the lengthier question. Okay, let's move to the next one coming up on your screen. Find the total work, I think, not towel work, okay, done by the force in 4.5 seconds if it starts from rest. Okay, so how do we do this particular question? Okay, right. So let's see, guys. Yeah, theory we are not going to do today. Theory will be done via the questions only. That is the best thing. I mean, just 5 days, 6 days, 1 week, 2 weeks before the exam, guys. Don't expect theory now. Okay, so concentrate on solving problems. That is more important. If you go on to theory, again you will get stuck into the same loop. For theory, all the classes, everything are there on YouTube. You can start looking at it. Okay, now if you look over here, my dear students, this is force versus time graph, and you have to find the total work done. A lot of you will think I'll just find the area. No, finding the area will not give me work, because force displacement graph gives me work. So I have to think little differently. So what will this area at all give me? The area under force versus time graph gives me nothing but impulse. It gives me nothing but impulse, and impulse J is nothing but final momentum m into v, or I can say P final, minus initial momentum. This impulse being the area, how much is that area? We can easily calculate it. This area will be half into base into height. Base is 3, height is 4, and this area will be half into base, which is 1.5, into height. Now, I'm not really sure what the height is. Okay, we'll figure it out. Not that difficult. Okay, for 3 seconds it was 4. For 3 seconds it was 4 units on the top. For 1.5, this will be, I think, 2 units. 2 units. Symmetry, or I would say similarity of the triangles. Correct? So the sides will be in the same ratio. This is 3. This is 1.5. If this is 4, this will be 2. Make sense? So this is going to be minus 2. So the height wise, this is nothing but 2 units, but put a minus sign. So anyways, this will come out to be 4 by 2 is 2. 2 3s are 6. This will come out to be 2 cancels 1.5, but with a negative sign. So what is the total area going to be? It will be 6 minus 1.5. This is equal to the final momentum. Initially it was at rest, so initial momentum is 0. So from this I'll get final momentum as 4.5 kg meter per second. But that is not our job. Our job is to find the work done. How do I find the work done? Work done is nothing but change in kinetic energy. So final minus initial. Final kinetic energy, I can say final momentum square by 2m minus, initially it was 0. Final momentum is nothing but 4.5. So 4.5 square divided by 2 times mass. I think the mass data was missing over here. It's not printed, but if the mass is substituted, you will get the right answer. Okay, I think mass data is missing, but you get the point. So mass should be given to me in the question. Mass should be given to me in the question, then I will be able to do it. Is that clear, everyone? Perfecto. Awesome, awesome, great. So the answer comes out to be 5.006 if you substitute the value of the mass. I don't know whether they have assumed some mass over here. Yes, they have assumed the mass as 2 units. So we should use the mass as 2. Mass is equal to 2 kg. Mass is equal to 2 kg. So I should put 2 over here. Then I will get the answer as 5.06 joules. Okay, clear? So area under force time impulse, area under force displacement work. Keep that in mind. Shall we go ahead to the next question, my dear students? Ready for it? Okay. Okay, great. Let's begin then. What is the next question? There is a pendulum made of a rigid rod and small bob attached to one end as shown. The rod is pivoted at the other end. What should be the minimum speed at the lowest point so that the pendulum completes a full circle? Now, looking at the question of the pendulum, where it should complete the vertical circle, immediate idea that comes to your mind, sir, root 5 GL, root 4 GL. But do you think that formula will work here? Quickly let me know in the chat box. Do you think that particular formula will work here? No. Why won't it work? Because the rope or the string or the rod has mass. That formula for a rod to complete circle is root 4 GL, provided the rod is massless and there is a point mass. So that assumption of massless rod is there, but here the rod has mass. So you need to be a little bit careful. So the logic for this question, my dear students, is something like this, where you have this rod, okay, and this bob over here, and then the rod has to go vertical like this, and that bob will be here. Okay, so what is the rod's mass? Small m, and bob's mass capital M. This is small m, this is capital M, this is small m, this is capital M. If you notice carefully, the bob has gone from this point to this point. So the height by which the bob climbs up, the height by which the bob is going to climb up is nothing but length of the rod 2 times this length and this length. So this is basically going to be 2L. So the potential energy calculations will need that. That's why I'm calculating the height. Remember, right now this guy has some speed over here. This guy also has some angular speed, which is V by L. The center of mass, although of the rod, is over here. It goes up over here. This is L by 2. This is L by 2. So the center of mass, of the rod, has only gone up by a height of L. Center of mass, because rod is a big body. So to find how much is the gain in the energy, potential energy, you check the center of mass and see how high did the center of mass go by. So always look at center of mass. Okay, so now start doing the problem. If you give it some speed, by the time it reaches the top, the speed will be negligible. So negligible speed will be there, so that it is just able to cross over onto the other side in the vertical circular motion. Initial energy will be nothing but half the mass of the bob is capital M into V square plus half I omega square. For the rod, it is half small m L square by 3, that's the moment of inertia, into omega square. Omega is V by L whole square, is equal to, everything is going into potential energy. Potential energy for the rod is small mgl, and for the bob it is capital mg2l. Capital mg2l. That's what it is. L square will cancel, and I will be left with half, or rather v square by 2. Here you will have m plus small m divided by 3, small m divided by 3, because L square will get cancelled, V square will be common, half will also be common. From here, you will get GL as common, and you will have small m plus 2m. Solving this, you will get V square, and taking root, you will get the value of V. So check, the answer will be 12m plus 6m by 3m plus m root GL. That's what you are going to get. Okay, not that difficult. After this, the main step was this equation, which was the energy conservation equation. So energy is going to be conserved. Energy is going to be conserved. Is that okay, my dear students? Perfecto. Okay, awesome. Let's move to the next question then. Let's go to the next question. Ready for it? Quickly let me know if you understood the concept. Give me a thumbs up quickly in the chat box. I want your interaction. I want your feedback. I want you to be live, active, and into the mood. Gain that momentum of problem solving. Exams are just few days away, right? Let's begin with the next question on your screen. Here it is. So we have a syringe, we have a piston, we have a nozzle. Water is coming out of that syringe's nozzle. The diameter of the piston is 5 times that of the nozzle. The piston is pushed with a speed of 20. Then with what speed will that water hit the ground? This is like a projectile motion combined with fluid mechanics, both of them together. So because over here the speed is given, here the speed is given. How much is the speed? 20 centimeters per second, or 0.2 meters per second. We can find what is the speed over here. It's not that difficult. This will be the horizontal speed. So using continuity equation, continuity equation, continuity equation, area 1 V1 will be equal to area 2 V2. The first area is 5 times the area of the nozzle. Speed is basically 0.2. Area 2 is, let's say, A. V2 is something I don't know. A gets cancelled. 5 2s are 10. That decimal is there. So velocity 2 will be nothing but 1 meter per second. Just check this out. Yeah. Oh, but the diameter is given, not the area. Oh, sorry guys. 1 second. The diameter is given to be 5 times. So be careful. So we all know that area is nothing but pi d square by 4. Pi into diameter 1 square by 4. This is into V1. This is again pi diameter square by 4 multiplied by V2. Pi 4 cancels. So diameter 1, which is of the piston, is 5 times. So this will be nothing but 5 times d whole square. V1 will be nothing but 0.2. Diameter 2 is, let's say, d only. V2 I do not know. So diameter is 5 times, area won't be 5 times. Diameter square is proportional to the area. So we need to be careful about that. D square cancels. Pi square is nothing but 25. So 25 into 0.2 is nothing but V2. So therefore V2 will be nothing but 5 meters per second. So we got V2, or whatever, that Vx, I can say Vx, we have got it as 5 meters per second. That is the horizontal speed. That horizontal speed will always remain as 5 meters per second. The additional speed that it will get is this vertical speed, and that vertical speed can be easily calculated using projectile motion formula, root 2 gh. So 2 into g value, I think we have to take it as 10, and height is given as 1.25. So 2 into 10, 20 into 1.25, 125 into 2, 250. So this will be 25. Root 25 is 5. So 5 meters per second. Okay, so Vy is also 5, Vx is also 5. So what will be the resultant velocity? Resultant velocity will be Vx square plus Vy square. So it will be nothing but 5 square plus 5 square. So that will be 5 root 2 meters per second. So 5 root 2 meters per second is the correct answer. 5 root 2 meters per second. Is that right? Okay, very good. Awesome. IAT have made a special video for that. Please check it out. It's there on the channel, my dear students. Okay. So check it out on the Vedantu JEE English channel. It's there. The complete strategy has been mentioned to all of you already. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Was somewhere I have done it. Yeah, this one. So everything about ISER cutoff, uh, not cutoff, I would say a better score for a good college. Plus, the competition is high, and what is the timing strategy that you need to apply. Anyways, the last date for this exam is over. So if you are new, then maybe you are already late. Okay, no worries. Let's begin with the next question coming up on your screen. There are three rods of the same material having the same area joined as shown. This is like three resistors joined together. Find the voltage at the common point, and voltages are given. Very similar to that current electricity problem where you use Kirchhoff's laws. Here the temperatures are given, and you have been asked to find out what is the temperature of the junction P. Now, see, there is something called as thermal resistance. There is something called as thermal resistance. Thermal resistance, RTH, is the equivalent resistance of a conducting rod, which can be used in a current electricity problem. So you can solve it like that, or you can do it without thermal resistance also. I mean, it's not a big deal. Say, even without thermal resistance, you can just directly do it. It's like simple. You assume, first of all, the direction of flow of heat. So before that, mark the temperatures. For A, it is 100 degrees Celsius. For B, it is 50 degree Celsius, and for C, it is 0 degree Celsius. So we can just assume, like, say the heat is flowing from here and it gets distributed here and it gets distributed here. So just like you had Kirchhoff's current law at a junction, the input current is the output current. So the current going in is the current going out. Now this current is basically your heat current, is nothing but your heat current, dq by dt, rate of flow of heat. And dq by dt is Ka delta T by delta L, or conductivity into area into difference of temperature by the length. Assume this guy's temperature to be x degree centigrade, So I will be K is thermal conductivity, which I think is same because same material. Area is also same. Temperature difference is nothing but 100 minus x, whole thing divided by the length, which is nothing but 2L, is equal to what is I1? Same thing, K A, difference of temperature, that will be nothing but x minus 50, whole thing divided by the length, which is L, plus this one over here, K A, difference of the temperature is nothing but x minus 0 divided by the length. K A and L will get cancelled. So I will be left with 100 minus x divided by 2 is equal to x minus 50 plus x. That's it. Solve this for x, you will get the answer. Solve this for x, you will get the answer as 40 degree Celsius. So the answer for this particular question comes out as 40 degree Celsius just after solving it. So just multiply by 2 on both the sides and then solve for x. Bring all the x terms on one side. Okay. Okay. Great. ComEdK, which is postponed, and second is IIT Ayush. The timings are also same, is it, Ayush? If the timings are same, then I would suggest please go for that exam where you have more confidence in. Like, for example, if you feel that you are made for research, you want to go into research and you can crack IIT, write that. But if you feel that no, this exam is not for me, selection ratio is less, I think I have a better chance at ComEdK, then go for ComEdK exam. Okay? I hope this is clear. Right. Let's move, guys, to the next question on your screen. A magnetic needle is parallel to the magnetic field and it requires W units of work to turn through 60 degrees. The magnitude of the torque needed to maintain the needle in this position will be. First of all, we can calculate the work required. The work required is nothing but final potential energy minus initial potential energy. Finally, it is at 60 degrees. So energy when it is at 60 degrees and initially it was aligned, that means it is at 0 degree. Energy is given by minus mb cos theta. So theta over here is 60 minus mb cos 0. Okay, cos 60 is half, so minus mb by 2. Minus minus is plus, cos 0 is 1, so this is just plus mb. So mb minus mb by 2 is just mb divided by 2 is the work done. But the question is on torque. The question is what is the torque needed? So the torque is nothing but mb sine of theta. So m is m, b is b only. mb I will put it separate. Sine of what is it? 60 degrees. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. But from here, do you notice one thing? That m into b is 2 times of w. 2 into w is nothing but mb. So this particular part, m into b, I can just write it as w. So w root 3 divided by 2, which is b option. Okay, it should not be a, it should be b option. Everyone with me on this? Okay. Oh, sorry, this is not w, this is 2w. Nice, bad, sorry. So this is nothing but going to be 2 times of w. 2 will cancel. So this will be nothing but root 3 times of w. Root 3 times of w is a option. Yes, a option is the right answer. This is 2 times of w. I got that from here. I put it over here. Is that right, everyone? Clear? Shall we go to the next question, my dear students? Here it is. Next question on your screen. Check this out. What does it say? There are two ideal diodes which are connected to the battery as shown. The current supplied by the battery is, the positive terminal is connected to N type. So this diode definitely is going to be in reverse bias. So it will not allow any current. The positive connected to P. So definitely it will conduct the current. This will be in forward bias. So the current will flow in this. It will go directly like that, like this, like this. It will go here and here. It will go only in the outer part of the circuit. This part will be reversed bias, and I think it is ideal diode, so no voltage drop here. So simply put, the current will be voltage by resistance by Ohm's law. Voltage is 5, resistance is 10. Voltage is 5, resistance is 10. So this will be nothing but 0.5 amperes. 0.5 amperes. Very straightforward. Okay, great, great. Sir, can I get seat into NIT Trichy without CSC? Should I need to take IIT BS Data Science? See that video which I made regarding data science, that has got nothing to do with where you are studying. See this particular video which I put yesterday, right? A lot of you are getting confused, sir. Should I do only this? No, no, no. Please don't be just dependent on this. This is your auxiliary degree. So some students who don't want to study anything, I mean, very chill guy you are, fine, you can just take this degree, but do not do that. That is not advisable. This is a secondary degree which you can take from IIT Chennai. Please remember, it is a online course. Okay, only certain things, certain aspects only you might have to visit offline, especially for practicals or final submission or something like that. But other than that, it is an online course. So keep these things in mind. Okay. All right, perfect. Let's go to the next question, guys, coming up on your screen then. Let's go. Oh, what is this? Heat is supplied to a solid to raise the temperature from the melting point and boiling point. Which of the following graphs represent relation between heat supplied and temperature? See, keep this in mind. At boiling and at melting, the temperature should remain constant. The temperature should remain constant. Isn't it? Isn't it, guys? And not just that, if you recollect some values, let's say for ice to water, latent heat for melting is 80 calories per gram, but latent heat for vaporization, that is 540 calories per gram. So you need more heat to convert liquid into gas as compared to the heat for solid to liquid. Solid to liquid is less, liquid to gas is more. So the graph definitely can't be falling. I mean, A and B seems very, very inappropriate, which says that you need lesser and lesser heat for changing the temperature. This is definitely not correct. A and B are automatically out. Now, out of these two, which of them is correct? See guys, in this graph, this is melting, temperature is constant, that's a good thing. But this phase is liquid, and from liquid to solid, why is the heat requirement dropping? It should increase. Why is it dropping? This drop is not allowed, guys. It should increase. You need more heat. You need more heat to change the temperature in the gaseous state. So this is the most appropriate graph. Let's have a look. Yes, it is C option. So keep this in mind that this particular part is nothing but your solid phase. This is your liquid phase. This is your gaseous phase. So you will need more and more heat as you progress from solid to liquid to gas. It can never ever go down. This was going down, so this is also out. Is this okay, everyone? Perfecto. Yep. Yep. And temperature will be constant. Sudarshan, I'm very good. Hi, Suchi Mama. Nice to see you. LG Computer, welcome. Okay. Moving on to the next one on your screen. Here it is. A long straight wire of some radius A, I think, carries steady current. The current is distributed on the cross section. The ratio of the field at A by 2 and A. See, this is just like this question where this is your wire, you can say, infinitely long wire. Okay, and it is carrying current uniformly across the cross section, something like this. Everywhere there is current. Okay, so there is current which is flowing through it, and that current is basically I, and the radius of that particular wire is given to be A. First part is when you are inside, okay, what is the magnetic field? When you are inside, what is the magnetic field? And second part is when you are outside. So this one and this one. Okay, so this part is basically A by 2. So the magnetic field when you are inside is given by mu naught I divided by 2 pi, the radius square multiplied by the distance from the axis. So mu naught I, distance from the axis is A by 2, 2 pi radius, the radius is A square. So this will be mu naught I. A and A will get cancelled. 2 and 2 will become 4. So 4 pi A. I believe this is the answer for magnetic field which is there inside. When you are looking at outside, the formula is slightly different. It is just mu naught I by 2 pi into x. That's all. So it will be mu naught into I divided by 2 pi. X is nothing but 2a. It's mentioned. So this will be mu naught I divided by 4 pi a. Oh, both of them are same. So it is 1:1 ratio. Yes, it is 1:1. The ratio was asked. So when you take B in by B out, that will be 1:1. As simple as that. Both are equal. You should know this formula for a long wire carrying uniform current inside versus outside. In fact, the graph also is very, very important, my dear students. If you draw the graph of magnetic field versus distance, when you're inside, it is proportional to x. You can see when you're outside, then it is inversely proportional to x. So it becomes a rectangular hyperbola outside, whereas inside it is a straight line graph. Inside it is straight line graph. Okay, we'll be starting for 10th, 11th, moving 11th, moving 12th, all the important things on this channel very soon. Just give us some time. Moving on to the next one on your screen. Photoelectric effect is performed on different metallic plates having different work functions. Light beam of some wavelengths and equal intensities illuminate each of these plates. Then the correct graph for the experiment is interesting, guys. Photoelectric effects are performed using 3 different metallic plates and having some work functions. Okay. Then there is a light beam having some wavelength of I think some statements are missing, wavelength of dash 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 and with equal intensities which illuminate each of these plates. Then the correct graph of the experiment will be. Well, think about it. It is clearly mentioned three different metallic plates. That means, and the wavelengths are also different. So obviously the stopping potential will also be different. Will also be different. In this graph and this graph, I can see that the stopping potentials everywhere are different. That is a good thing. That is 100% correct. But I think the wavelengths are not mentioned. I think maybe that data got missed. So one thing that you should know is that if wavelength was mentioned, hc by lambda is work function plus E times of Vs. The one which has more wavelength and the will have a smaller value, of hc by lambda. Keep that in mind. So if you try to find EVS, which is hc by lambda minus 5, so in order to figure out who has more stopping potential, that should have less lambda and smaller phi value. Pi value should also be small, because if lambda is small, this number ratio will become, hc by lambda will become big, and from a big number, if you subtract a small number, the whole expression will become big. So that will have a more stopping potential. So if you look at graph A and graph C, the only difference is this is PQR versus this is RPQ. Why is it different? Because I think the wavelengths which are missing in the information, if that was given to me, I can quickly figure out who has more stopping potential or who has less stopping potential using this expression. Got it, my dear students? So from that we can decide between C graph and A graph, or between this D graph and B graph, because here I can see the intensities, or rather the graphs are converging at the same place. Everybody till this point absolutely clear? No, they are not necessarily PYQs. Okay, great. Now, what about the next thing? The intensities are equal. If the intensities are equal, then which options can you eliminate, my dear students? If intensity of the light is equal, then which of the graphs can you eliminate? Think about it carefully. Which graphs can you eliminate if the intensity of the lights are equal? Immediately you will be thinking, sir, A and C graph is eliminated, because at B and D, I can see all the graphs are converging, and that is reaching the saturation current. So that means the intensities will be equal. Only then the saturation currents will be equal. That is not right, guys. I'll tell you why. Because intensity is number of photons per unit time into hc by lambda, okay, divided by area. So this divided by area. So if you notice over here, if intensities are same, area is same, this n by t number is basically directly proportional to lambda. Or if lambda is taken on the top, I is same, H is same, C is same, A is same, number of photons per unit time is directly proportional to lambda, and this number of photons per unit time is directly proportional to the current. So the current indirectly is proportional to the wavelength if the intensities are equal. So the one which has more lambda will also have more current. So the graph will definitely not converge at the same place. So that is the logic behind it. Understand, when same color is used, same wavelength is used, then when intensity is more, I can say current is more. But when you are comparing two different colors, then understand, just saying intensities are equal, that means photons coming out of it are also equal, is wrong, because each photon will have different packet of energy. So the total energy is the same, but each photon has a different packet of energy. So the number of photons will also be different for two different colors or two different wavelengths. So that is the catch over here. And the current is proportional not exactly to intensity, but actually to the number of photons which fall on it. Photons are proportional to the intensity for the same color. So a lot of people think, oh, it was always intensity proportional. Wrong. It is actually proportional to the number of photons per unit time. Is this logic clear? So now with this, it is obvious that B option and D option gets eliminated, and from this option which is there, where whichever has less wavelength and less work function will have more stopping potential. So out of C and A, you can choose the options if the data was given to me. Is this understood? Is this understood? We are more specifically 11th to 12th moving channel, 11th 12th dropper channel. Okay, not exactly 9th 10th channel, but maybe in the near future someday we will have a 10th standard channel too. Is this understood, my dear students? Absolutely. Everyone, give me a thumbs up, give me a smiley, give me an emoji so that I know you understood how we have eliminated B and D. This is the most crucial part of the problem. Many students are going to make mistakes. B and D are eliminated because intensities are same. So number of photons are proportional to the wavelength, and number of photons is proportional to the current. So wavelength is different, so current is also different. So B and D gets eliminated. C and A you can choose based on the values if at all given. Other than that, there is no other way. Okay. So moving on to the next question on your screen. 5.6 liter of helium gas at STP is adiabatically compressed to 0.7 liter. Taking the initial temperature to be T1, the work done will be. I think we can immediately calculate the number of moles. At STP, 1 mole is basically 22.4 liter. Therefore, 5.6 liter is how many moles? 22.4 divided by 5.6. This will be 4 moles. So this is basically 4 moles of what gas is it? Helium. Helium is nothing but monoatomic gas, and a Cp for it and Cv for it. Cv is going to be 3R by 2, Cp is going to be 5R by 2, gamma is going to be 5 by 3. All these data points will be needed, maybe, may not be, I don't know. If it is needed, we'll use it. If not, we'll leave it. Okay, till this point clear? All right. Now the next part. It is adiabatically compressed. The work done is how much? Now for work done, there is a formula. Work done is negative delta U, because heat supplied is 0, or if you want to go by first law, Q is equal to delta U plus W. So 0 is equal to delta U is N CV delta T plus W. So therefore W is negative N CV delta T. Now, number of moles I already know, it is 4. CV also I know, where is it? 3R by 2. Is that right? Everyone till this point? Absolutely clear. CV also I know. It is nothing but 3R by 2. The only thing I do not know is delta T. How do I find delta T? Well, final temperature minus initial temperature, right? So for that, let's use this concept that it was adiabatically compressed. And we know for adiabatic compression, T1 V1 raised to gamma minus 1 is T2 V2 raised to gamma minus 1. Do you remember this? TV raised to gamma minus 1 is constant. Okay. What is temperature 1 versus temperature 2? We'll figure that out. So T1 V1 raised to first volume is how much? 5.6 liter. So this is 5.6. Gamma is nothing but 5 by 3. So 5 by 3 minus 1 is T2. V2 is basically 0.7. This is 5 by 3 minus 1. Solving it here, T2 will be T1. We will have 5.6 by 0.7. 5 by 3 minus 1, 5 minus 3 is 2. So divided by, raised to 2 by 3. So this will be T1 into 5.6 by 0.7, 56 by 7, that's 8. 8's cube root is 2. 2's square is 4. So this will be 4. Or you can think this is 8 raised to 2 by 3, which is basically 4 times of T1. So T2 is basically 4 times of T1. So this is 4 times T1 minus T1, you can say. Everyone? Okay, perfect. So just substitute it and now we'll solve the problem. So W is equal to 4 and 2 cancel. So minus 2 multiplied by 3R multiplied by 3T1. So this will be 3 3s are 9. This will be minus 18R T1. That is your work done. Minus 18R T1. Just check this out. Everything is fine. Monoatomic helium. Okay. This is 5 by 3. CV is 3R by 2. Okay. This should be minus 18R T1. Just check this out once again. Yeah. Oh, I know where I have went wrong. What did I do? Somewhere here only I made a mistake. Sorry, guys. This was not 4 moles. Sorry. Here only I made it wrong initially. This is such a silly mistake. 5.6 liter will be 5.6 divided by 2, 22.4. I had to take the inverse, which is 1/4 of a mole. 1/4 of a mole. Yeah. So that was the only mistake which we did over there. So this will be 1/4. That's it. So now it should be correct, hopefully. So this will be nothing but 3R multiplied by 3T1, 4 2s are 8 with a negative sign. So minus 9RT1 divided by 8. Minus 9RT1 divided by 8 is nothing but option number A. Yes, perfect. So the moles was 1/4 moles. That was a small thing which we missed out. We wrote it as 4 moles. My mistake. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Done, guys. Sorted. Shall we go ahead to the next question coming up on your screen? Here it is. The path of a charged particle through a rectangular region of a uniform field is as shown in the figure. What are the directions of the electric fields and the direction of the deflection of the particles 2, 3 and 4? Okay. The question is, what is the direction of the electric fields and the direction of the deflection of the particles 2, 3 and 4? See, if this is a positively charged particle deflecting this way, 100% the electric field should be in this direction. So it should be up. Definitely down is ruled out. So either this or this. Now, next thing. 2, because it is negative, it will go down. This 3, because it is positive, it will deflect up. This is negative, so it will deflect down. So down, up, down. Down, top, down. Yes, this is matching perfectly. So A option is the right answer. Down, up and down, because electric field will repel the positive charges and it will attract the negative charges. As simple as that. So very simply, you can directly say the option is A. Okay. Moving on to the next question on your screen. There are 10 charges placed on the circumference of a circle. Okay, imagine a circle and there are 10 charges which are placed on it. And how is it? The odd ones have positive, the even ones have negative. So the odd ones are basically positively charged. Okay, you can think of it like this. And the even ones maybe are negatively charged. So in between there is negative charge over here. Question is, potential and the field at the center of the circle are. This is very, very straightforward. When you talk about potential, which will be the total potential due to all of them, one will be positive, other will be negative. One will be positive, other will be negative. So the total potential will obviously be 0 volts. So 0 volts will be 100% correct. So that is one thing. What about the electric field? See, one charge will give an electric field like this, other charge, negative charge, let's say it gives an electric field like this, positive charge will give electric field like this, another charge will give like this, another charge will give like this, another charge will give like this. They will be symmetrically distributed. So the net electric field will obviously be 0 by symmetry. By symmetry. Okay, they will all cancel out each other because of symmetry. So electric field will also be 0. You can say that. So C option is absolutely correct. Very straightforward. You do not have to use any kind of vector algebra or anything over here. Cool, guys. Let's move to the next question on your screen. In the given diagram, all the capacitances are initially uncharged. Wow. We have a ladder of capacitors, battery, capacitor, battery, capacitor, battery, capacitor, battery. Then you close the switch S1 for a long time and suddenly S2 is also closed, and for a long time the total heat produced after S2 is closed is how much? See, first diagram will look something like this. Only when S1 is closed, capacitor, battery, capacitor, battery, capacitor, battery, capacitor, battery, and then this is also grounded. After you close switch number 2, then the diagram will look like this. Capacitor, battery, capacitor, battery. This is connected to the ground. Again, capacitor, battery, capacitor, battery, and again connected to the ground. That's the only difference between before and after closing the switch number 2 in between. Tell me one thing, this switch number 2 was over here. This is exactly the midpoint. It's perfectly symmetric diagram. So whatever is there here will be there here. This is 0 volt, this is 0 volt, completely symmetry over here. So my dear students, nothing will happen even if you connect it to the ground. This point will anyways have 0 volts by symmetry, because think about it. This is 0 volts, this is 0 volts. Whatever is there on the left is there on the right. So you can clearly see, this point in the middle will also have 0 volts. So if I again connect it, to 0 volts, you are not doing anything new in the circuit. It's the same old thing. Even before and even after, it was the same potential. So no new distribution of charges will come. Keep this in mind. So that is why no extra charge will flow. There will be no change in the capacitances, charges, energies whatsoever. So no heat will be produced at all. So answer is D. Answer is D. Keep this in mind in current electricity capacitor resistor problems. If before and after operation reveals that the potentials are same, then that means nothing has happened in the circuit. As simple as that. Okay. If the before and after operations keep the potentials at all the points same, then nothing really has affected it. The presence of this guy has not affected it. So understand that there is no point of putting this grounding over here. Anyways, it was 0 volts. It was 0 even without that. So you telling that okay, you are 0 volts is not going to affect the circuit in any way. So that's why the answer is 0 or no energy loss. Okay, great, perfect. No, it's not about Gauss's law. It's about symmetry in the circuit, and how if this is 0, this is 0, the exact midpoint will also be 0, and this does not affect it in any way. Moving on to the next question. There are resistors, capacitors connected together. The other ends are connected to the terminals of the battery. Negative batteries are connected together. The circuit with steady current, the potential drop across the capacitor is okay. So let us think about the circuit first. So resistor, capacitor, resistor, R, C, 2R. Interesting. Batteries, E, and 2E. This is basically E. This is also basically E, but this one is basically 2 times of E. That's what it is. We know capacitor blocks current. So eventually the circuit will just come down to a very simple one. Just this much with this resistor, 2R, this battery, and this battery, 2E and E. And what will happen is there will be current in this circuit. It will go like this. The bigger battery will have more authority over here. So the current will be nothing but 2E minus E, because that E is opposing the current, but resistances does not matter, 2R plus R. So it will be E divided by 3R. Please remember, capacitor blocks the current. So here I have ignored the capacitor. So capacitor blocks the current, blocks basically the current. Now I would want, what is it? The voltage drop across the capacitor. So for that, look at this. Assume this point's voltage as V1. So this point or this point or I would say this point or this point. Both these points, you encounter a battery, so their potentials will be V1 plus E. Is that right? It will be V1 plus E. I'm going from negative to the positive terminal. Next important thing, both these points again are connected by a wire, so their voltages will be equal, so it will be V2 only. So voltage drop across the capacitor will be same as the voltage drop across this resistor. Makes sense? This has same voltage. This has same voltage. So from this, voltage drop across capacitor is voltage drop across this resistor. And what is the voltage drop across this resistor? We know that there is some current flowing in this. There is some current flowing in this. So it will be I multiplied by the resistance. Current multiplied by the resistance. Current is nothing but E by 3R. Resistance is R cancels, so it will be E divided by 3. So this is the voltage across the capacitor. So voltage across the capacitor is E by 3. The logic here was very important. Why this voltage is this voltage? Is because if this is V1, this is V1 plus E, this is also V1 plus E. So they both are equipotential. These are connected by a wire, so they are also equipotential. So they are at same potential, they are at same potential, their voltage difference here or here will be the same. Calculating this one is easier using Ohm's law, IR. So I've used IR formula to find the voltage difference. Is that absolutely clear, my dear students? Everyone? Okay, great. Still, I can talk in Hindi, that's not a problem, but there are many Hindi channels, but how many English channels are there? You first tell me that. And how many people are seriously thinking about English medium students? So let's not dilute this by saying ki, sir, let's talk in Hindi and all. I can talk in Hindi, I can talk in Marathi, okay, so many other languages. But this channel's purpose is only to make sure that many students who are studying in English medium, they first of all and are comfortable in English, so that's why. Number two, many students from south and northeast and even abroad can't understand Hindi that well, so that's why we are focused on this channel. Number three, okay, please understand that we have other lingual channels also, so you can watch those channels as well. Like we have the JEE Hindi, JEE Tamil, JEE Telugu, but I'm not sure whether all channels are doing IIT session, but we are doing over here because we know the importance of ISERs and everything. Okay. All right. So let's go with the next one. There is a material, magnetic field strength, magnetic flux produced is how much? Magnetic flux produced is how much? Flux is magnetic field into A, okay, area. Field is mu into H, permeability of the medium into magnetization. Mu is permeability of the medium, which is relative permittivity into relative permeability into permeability of free space. This multiplied by H multiplied by area. Relative permeability is 1 plus susceptibility, and susceptibility is what is given to us over here, into mu naught into H into area. Now it's just a matter of you substituting the values. So 1 plus susceptibility, susceptibility is 313, mu naught is 4 pi 10 to the power minus 7 multiplied by H is 1000, which is 10 to the power 3, multiplied by area, which is 0.25 centimeter square, so multiplied by 10 to the power minus 4. The interesting thing over here is at this part, 1 plus 313 is nothing but 314. 314 is nothing but 3.14 multiplied by 100, which is pi multiplied by 10 square. And we know pi into pi is nothing but pi square, which is also again 10, close to 10 you can say. So solving this, you will get the answer as I think C. Check it out. Solving this, you should get the answer as C. And it is not that difficult to see why. Because if you just ignore the powers of 10 decimal zeros in this numeric, the only numerical values are pi, 4 and 0.25. 4 into 0.25 is 1, so forget that 1. 1, 0, 10 to the power, decimal, everything ignore. Pi into pi is pi square. Pi square is approximately G. G is basically 9.8. So the answer will be 9.8. All these other numbers will be useless waste. So even without calculating, you can directly mark the answer. So this is how you can smoothly ignore the calculations and get the value. Okay, and especially on objective exam, MCQ exam, it is very, very useful. Okay, how do I overcome my mistakes? Balhan Balu, just try out the timing strategy which I mentioned, number one. Number two, see if your biology is weak. Then try to do some biology questions. And if you want us to conduct a biology IAT mock test, we'll do that maybe on this channel or Vedantu NEET English channel. That is also our channel only. So we can do that biology. So that will probably boost up your confidence if that's what you want. Okay, and see if maths, how many questions you are leaving, because maths is usually the toughest one even in IAT. So if you are leaving like 5-6 questions or more, then that will be difficult for you to score beyond 170 180. Okay, so bare minimum 10 questions so you should solve in mathematics, right? Correct. Okay, right. Okay, fine, Darshana, don't worry, we are there, right? Our channel is there. Okay, all right. Let's go, guys, to the next question coming up on your screen, and here it is. The midpoint of two dipoles is separated by D, end-end positions. Sorry, the midpoint of two small magnetic dipoles is D, and they are separated by distance x, which is much larger than the dipole length. The force between them is proportional to which power of x? Okay, let me show you what is exactly happening. There is a dipole over here, and there is another dipole over here. Okay, think this guy's length is D, this guy's length is also D, and they are separated, by the way, by a large distance of x. This x is very, very large. Now, the question is force between them is proportional to which power of x? See, first of all, this dipole will create its own magnetic field or electric field, whatever it is. Okay, so this will be the magnetic field. So some of the magnetic field lines will go like this. This will be the magnetic field. So the magnetic field over here will be mu naught into 2 times magnetic moment divided by x cube. This is the magnetic field. Okay, this is magnetic field on the axis of this particular dipole over here. Now this magnet is in external field of this guy's magnetism. So the external magnetic field will create a potential energy. So the potential energy of the magnet, or I would say of the other dipole, due to the field of the first, due to this guy's field, will be minus magnetic moment into magnetic field. Minus magnetic moment is m only. Magnetic field, just from here you import it, mu naught into 2m divided by x cube. Now, as you can see over here, energy is some constant with negative sign divided by x cube. So if I want to find the force of interaction, so the force of interaction between them, that force will be negative rate of change of potential energy with respect to x. So minus the derivative of that negative constant by x cube, which is minus minus is plus, so constant will come outside, and derivative of x raised to minus 3. So constant is as it is, x raised to negative 3's derivative is minus 3 into x raised to minus 4. So from this you can see it is proportional to x raised to minus 4. So force is proportional to x raised to minus 4. So n value is 4. As simple as that. So this is a very, I would say, standard problem. If you are a JEE Advanced student, for sure you would have seen this kind of question. Okay. All right. All right. Great. Great. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. Here it is. When an object is placed at a distance of 25, the magnification is m1, but magnification becomes m2 when distance is moved 15 more away from the earlier position. The ratio of the magnifications is 4. Find the focal length of the mirror and what kind of mirror is it. That means we need to find f given the magnifications and the object distances. We know one formula though. There is a simple formula for magnification which is related to the focal length and the object distance. If you do not remember that formula, no issues, you can derive it anytime. 1 by v plus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. So therefore 1 by v is equal to 1 by f minus 1 by u. So it will be nothing but u minus f divided by fu is equal to 1 by v. Therefore v by u, check this out, v by u will be f divided by u minus f. But we know magnification is negative v by u. Therefore magnification will be negative of this, means f divided by f minus u. F divided by f minus u. Now do this question 2 times for 2 different magnifications. First time when the magnification is 1, focal length I do not know. Object distance, what is the object distance? 25 centimeters. So minus 25. So it will be f divided by f plus 25. Second time the magnification is m2. The object distance will be 15 centimeters further away. So 15 plus 25. The new object distance will be 25 plus 15 magnitude wise. 25 plus 15, which is 40 centimeters. So object distance will be minus 40 over here. So it will be f divided by f plus 40. Now all you need to do is divide both of them. So m1 by m2 will be, check this out, f divided by f plus 25 divided by f plus 40. m1 by m2 is basically 4. So f plus 40 divided by f plus 25, cross multiply. So 4f plus 100, 4f plus 100 is f plus 40. So 3f is equal to 60. So f will be nothing but 20 centimeters. F will be basically 20 centimeters. Just check this out here. F is nothing but 20 centimeters. Everyone? Yep. Everybody, just check this out. F is basically 20 centimeters. Yep. F divided by f plus 25, f divided by f plus 40. m1 by m2 is basically 4. Then find the focal length. That's it. Our job is done. Yep. Okay. Very good. So 20 centimeters is over here. Which kind of lens will it be, guys? Quickly tell me. Yep. Which kind of lens will it be? It is positive. It is positive, right? We did not miss on the signs. Oh, sorry. I think we missed a negative sign here. This was minus 20. This is 40 minus 100. So which is minus 60. So technically it should be a concave mirror. Just check it out. It should be a concave mirror. Yes, it is a concave mirror. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. Excellent. Moving on to the next question on your screen. Here it is. A thin lens has some focal length and its aperture has some diameter. It forms an image of some intensity. Now the central part up to diameter d by 2 is blocked. So the focal length and the image will be. See, one thing is clear. Because you're blocking that aperture will have no effect at all. See, if this was the original lens and this is the final lens, and what you have done is you have blocked this part. You have blocked this part. It will have no effect. It will have no effect on the focal length because whatever rays were coming before will still meet at the same place. Yes, the number of rays will be reduced, intensity will be less, focal length will still be the same. Focal length will be the same. Intensity will definitely reduce. So F should be F only. So F here and F here, A option and C option gets eliminated. Now out of this and this, we need to choose which one is correct. One thing is there, intensity will be proportional to the area of the aperture size. So here the area is different, here the area is different. Here, if you notice, the area which is there is pi r square, you can say pi r square, or you can also say it is pi d square by 4. This is the area 1. Here, the area which is allowed, which is exactly this part, will be total area minus this area. So it will be pi d square by 4 minus, you're covering it with a diameter of d by 2. So pi d by 2 whole square divided by 4. So it will be pi d square by 4, 1 minus 1 by 4, which is 1 by 3. Sorry, which is 3 by 4, by my bad. 3 by 4 times of pi d square by 4. And we all know that intensity is directly proportional to the area. So if old intensity by the new intensity ratio is taken, this will be A1 by A2, which will be pi d square by 4 divided by 3 by 4 pi d square by 4. So solving this, what will I get? The new intensity as, I'll get it as 3 by 4 times of I. I'll get it as 3 by 4 times of I. That means it should be this option. Yes, D option is the right answer. Remember, only the light from the extreme regions is going, central region is being blocked. Whatever light is entering into the central region, that is getting blocked because of that opaque paper. Okay, so that's it. So only consider the outer area. So it's the bigger circles area minus the smaller circles area. That is the leftover area in that particular region. Okay, everyone? Okay. The timings of the Sigma batch will be in the evening. Yeah, it will be around 5 o'clock or something till around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Okay, and because the timing is less, that's why we are keeping around 2 to 3 classes every day. Bare minimum 2 classes on weekdays, up to 3 classes. In case you are like, sir, my school ends at 6 o'clock. See, guys, everybody's school does not end at 6 o'clock. There will always be exception. Even if your school ends at 6 o'clock, then we'll have to start the batch at 7 o'clock by the time you reach home and get ready and everything. So if you start the batch at 7 o'clock, then the batch will end at 12 o'clock in the night. Understand that. So it is not making any sense to end the batch at 12 o'clock in the night. When will you sit and study? So that's the reason why we say ki if you can join a dummy school, or if you can bunk the school whenever you can bunk the school. Number 3, if that is also not possible, then sit at the back and try to solve questions in free periods, or when the teacher is not looking, just carry some sheets and solve problems so you can utilize it for JEE. Number 4, when you come back home, if you can't attend any class live, watch the replay at a higher speed, 2x speed. And the best part is, this time we are keeping doubt solving even in the replay class. Okay, doubt solving is even there in the replay class. So all the things are in your favor. Yeah. Yeah. So around 5 o'clock, you can say 4:45, 5 o'clock, around that time till 9:30, 10 o'clock. Usually these are the timings. Okay, cool. Moving on to the next question on your screen. There is an inclined plane, particle is projected, making angle 15 degrees with respect to the plane. Question is, find the distance from the base. That means the range is asked. So for these questions, you will need this angle and this entire angle theta. Okay, this angle alpha is already given. This entire angle will be needed. Theta will be 15 plus 30, which is basically 45 degrees. And this was basically your alpha, which is just 30 degrees. And the question is on, what is the range? What is the range of the particle? What is the range of the particle? The range formula is 2u square sine theta minus alpha cos theta divided by g cos square alpha. That's it. Substitute everything and you will get the answer. U square, that means 2 square. Sine theta minus alpha means 45 minus 30. Cos theta means cos of 45. Whole thing divided by g is 10. Cos square alpha means cos square 30. So solve this and you will get the answer. The answer comes close enough to 20 centimeters. Okay, it is not exact, it is almost 20 centimeters. 45 minus 30 is 15. Sine 15 is already given to you over here. So use this value over here. Cos 45 we all know is 1 by root 2, which is 0.7. Okay, so 1 by root 2, which is approximately 0.7. and cos 30 is nothing but root 3 by 2. So square it will be 3 by 4, which is 0.75. So substitute it. So this is squared value. Root 3 by 2 square is 3 by 4, which is 0.75. Substituting, you will get the answer as close enough to 20 centimeters. Okay. All right. What will be the rank required for ISC Bangalore in JEE Advanced? I'll make a special video for those JEE Advanced counseling. Who is it? Palin Swami. Don't worry, we'll make a special video on that. Okay. Because those cutoffs every year it changes. I also don't remember it off the mind. Okay, because there are so many branches, it's not as simple. These days the system has become quite complex. Seat matrix, categories, so many things are there. All right, there is a body which is moving in xy plane as shown. At a certain instant, the acceleration is this much when the body is on the y-axis. The angular acceleration and angular velocity is. Read the question again and see if you can make sense out of it. Does you guys teach in advanced level or these are separate sessions for advanced? Sorry, sir, I have too many doubts. No. Sky Nature, we will be starting from the basics because we assume that you do not know much. We'll slowly scale you up from mains to advanced in the sessions only. Although the advanced percentage might not be complete 100%, obviously, because we are starting from the scratch. First revision, second revision, we will start doing more advanced questions. First priority, complete the syllabus, take you to advanced level just to give you a hand, give you a touch of that advanced questions. And then during the revisions, consequent, there will be almost like 3 revisions if you think of it. Before JEE means first attempt, first revision. After first attempt, then the second revision. Then after the second attempt also for advanced. So obviously in these multiple revisions, your level will go beyond JEE mains only. Is that okay? Sky Nature, perfecto. All right. If you are confident of cracking JEE Advanced, JEE Advanced. If you want engineering, JEE Advanced. If you want research and you think you can get into the top percentile or you can get above 120, 130 marks, focus on IIT. You will get some ISER, but for the top ISER, remember 170, 180 around marks will be needed. Okay. For random ISER or lower colleges, then 120, 130 marks are also good enough. See over here, I feel that this acceleration which is there, which is 6 psi cap, is the tangential acceleration. And tangential acceleration is basically alpha into r. And that is 6. Alpha, I don't know. R is 2 meters. So alpha is basically 3. And alpha is in that direction. So if you're in that direction, curl your fingers. The thumb goes inside like this. So therefore, alpha vector will be minus 3 k cap. So minus 3 k cap, minus 3 k cap, minus 3 k cap. It's only there here, directly mark A. You don't even have to see the other thing. But obviously we'll do it because what if the options are confusing then? If you look at this component of the acceleration, which is basically minus 8 k cap, that is the centripetal acceleration. And we all know centripetal acceleration is omega square r. So 8 will be omega square multiplied by 2. So omega square is 4 or omega is 2. So now angular velocity is like that. So curl your fingers like this, it will go inside. So omega vector will be minus 2 k cap again. So this will be minus 2 k cap. This is also perfectly fine. Okay, option A is the right answer. So these two components are tangential and centripetal. Use the centripetal and tangential formulas. Directly you get the values. For direction, use the right hand thumb rule. Whichever direction it is rotating, in that direction, curl your fingers. The thumb points the direction of the vector of that particular quantity. Okay, everyone, shall we go ahead to the next question, my dear students? Here comes the next question. Wow, we have a monkey of certain mass is climbing a massless rope which can only stand a maximum tension of 500. Which of the following will the rope break? See, it's a single correct option. If the monkey is climbing down and you are saying the rope will break, then for sure when the monkey climbs up, you are pushing the rope down, so more tension, so chances of breaking are higher. So if it breaks while climbing down, when you're climbing down, you're pushing the rope up, so the tension will be slightly less, you're making it loose. So if it breaks while coming down, it should break for coming up also. So then this option, this option, this option, all three options will be correct. But it is a single correct question. So 100%, three options can't be correct. So if you mark B, you have to mark A and C. That can't be true. So B option can't be true. Getting the logic? How many of you understood this logically without even solving? Just with the feel of physics, I'm doing it. If I'm climbing down, the tension is less. So it will generally not break. And if it breaks while coming down, and it will break for this and this also. Then I have to mark all three options. How can I mark three options? Not allowed. Only one option can be made. Okay. Monkey falls freely. If the monkey falls freely, that means he has left his hands. If you leave the hand, why will the rope break? You're not even touching the rope. You're not damaging the rope. You're not pulling the rope. So nothing will happen. So D option is also incorrect. Okay. Now monkey climbs up with acceleration or uniform speed. Think about it. If you go with uniform speed, that means acceleration is 0. So there is no additional force. If your acceleration is 0, your weight will be the tension. And what is the monkey's weight? It is 400 Newton exactly. It is exactly 400 Newton, and maximum tension it can withstand is 500 Newton. So for C also it will not break. So the only option which is then left out is option A. That is absolutely correct, and we can figure it out how much will be the tension. See, you are pulling the rope down. So the rope will pull you up. Mg will be downwards and the acceleration will be upwards. For the monkey, this is so T minus mg is ma. So T will be nothing but m into g plus a. So mass of the monkey is 40 multiplied by 10 plus 5, which is 15. 15 for the 60. So 600 Newton, which is definitely more than 500 Newton. So definitely when the monkey climbs up, the rope will break. It will break for this acceleration. Okay, very simple. So this is how you can solve logically in the examination hall. Next one, there are three springs and identical. Particle of mass m is pushed slightly against A and release. The time period of oscillation is. So you push this particle down, it will go up and down, the springs will oscillate. Question is, what is the time period of oscillation? This question is also there in H.C. Verma, subjective question. If you have seen these books, you would definitely recognize this question from H.C. Verma book. One of the most famous questions. There is a simple trick to solve such questions. See, imagine there is a line along which a particular mass oscillates, but the spring is making some angle over here, theta. Then the equivalent spring constant is k cos square theta. Therefore, the time period will be 2 pi under root m by k equivalent, which is k cos square theta. That is the first concept which you will need for the problem. Second thing, over here, we'll come to that. As you can see, if I draw this line, immediately you will notice this is 45 degree, this is 45 degree. So you can convert this question into a simpler problem. A spring over here, this mass as it is, this spring's component square should be taken, not cos theta, it is always cos square theta. So when a spring makes an angle with the mass which is moving back and forth like this along this line, take the cos square component. So this spring is making an angle of 45 with the direction of the motion of the mass. So the mass is going up and down like this. The mass is going up and down like this. So with that particular line, you are making 45 degrees. So you will take the cos square 45 component. So consider one spring over here and another spring over here like this and like this. So this will be k cos square 45. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. So this will be k by 2. This will be also k by 2. Now these three springs are actually in parallel. Yep, keep this in mind that if you have one spring here, one mass here and one spring here, this diagram is the same as this diagram. Both the springs on the same side and this mass over here. So they are basically in parallel, and in parallel the equivalent spring constant is K1 plus K2. So for this particular diagram, your total spring constant will be this K. Yep, this is K. So this K plus K by 2 plus this is also K by 2, which is just going to be 2K. So the time period will be 2 pi under root m divided by 2K. 2 pi under root m divided by 2K, which is B option. If you do not know this technique, then you will waste a lot of time. So this is very important, guys. Whenever spring makes an angle with the line of motion, take the equivalent constant as K cos square theta. Also, when springs on both are there on either sides of the mass, you can shift the spring on the same side and consider them to be in parallel. And in parallel, the constants add, and in series, the reciprocals add like resistors in parallel. So solving that, you will get the constant as K by 2 plus K by 2 plus K, which is 2K, and then the time period. Isn't it amazing? Amazing question. Very good. Oh, now we have homework questions. So the remaining questions, I've kept it as homework. The solutions, the answers are there on the next slides. I will not show it to you. So there are a few questions which I've kept it as homework, like this one or even this one. Okay, so few questions I have kept it as homework over here. You can easily do it so that you will get additional practice. So these were some of the top questions which you should do for your IISER aptitude test, so that you get a good seat and really a good IISER, because just getting into IISER is not one important. Getting a good IISER is important. And if you are really focused on research, please give this exam seriously. Try to aim for 180 marks at least. Okay, try to aim. I'm not saying 180 is needed. Try to aim for 180 marks because competition is high. Students' preparedness is higher, and also students are well aware of what IIT exam is, and many coachings are also started to prepare students for that. So these are the three reasons why you should be focused for 180. But other than that, at 120, 130 marks also, you will most likely get some kind of IISER. But we do not know how things can change suddenly. We don't want any shocker. All right. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the class. Thank you, Sumit. Please make a video on other IISERs also. Okay, computer science branch. All right, Sumit, definitely. I will have a look at it and I will definitely make videos for other colleges too. Okay. So meanwhile, have a great time. This was Captain Shreyas signing off. Bye bye. Take care.